Hello and welcome to another GCSE revision video, and in this video we're going to be looking at circles, more specifically the equation of a circle. The equation of a circle takes the general form x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. In this equation, the x and y are variables, and a and b are constants representing the x-y coordinates of the centre of the circle, and r is a constant that represents the radius of the circle. So, for example, if you're given the equation x minus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to 5 squared, it simply means draw a circle with the centre at coordinates x equals 3 and y equals 4 and a radius of 5. And that's all there is to it. Don't make me laugh. As if we'd get something that simple on an exam. I wish. Okay, well, you might get something that's fairly easy and it's just a little bit of a mixed up form. So you might get something like y squared is equal to 25 minus x squared, and what we're supposed to do is rearrange it into a form that we can recognise and then describe it. So you might be asked to describe the equation, or you might be asked to plot the equation on a graph or something. So we keep our y squared where it is. We're going to move this negative x squared over to this side. So we end up with x squared plus y squared is equal to 25. And you might recognise it immediately as a circle with coordinates 0, 0, which is say the centre is at the origin and the radius is 5. But if not, you could expand on this as just x minus 0 squared plus y, oh dear, y minus 0 squared is equal to 5 squared. The square root of 25 is 5 because we know our square numbers up to 100. If not, you might be able to use a calculator. Otherwise you could use guesswork by saying 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25. Aha, it's 25. So now that we've got it in this form, it's obvious that the centre is going to be 0, 0, which is the origin, and the radius is 5. Alternatively, if the person setting the questions is in a less generous mood or is trying harder to separate the best from the rest, then you might get something like this and be expected to say something intelligent about this ugly monstrosity. Okay, well, what we can do with this is try and tidy it up a little bit. I'm going to gather the x and y terms together, so I'll have something like x squared minus 10x, and now I'm going to leave a space so that I can complete the square, and I'm going to say plus, and now I've got my y squared minus 4y, and I'm going to leave a space again so that I can complete the square, and that's equal to 7. Now what do I have to do to x squared minus 10x to make a perfect square? Well, I need to halve the negative 10 and then square it. So that's just negative 5 squared, which is 25. So I'm going to add 25, and that's now a perfect square. But because I've added 25 to the left hand side of the equation, I've got to add 25 to the right hand side of the equation. And now what can I do to this y to make it a perfect square? Well, negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2, and negative 2 squared is positive 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides of the equation, and now I've got two perfect squares. Since I've got two perfect squares, I can just factorise them very easily. So that's just x minus 5. Half of 10 is 5 squared, or rather half of negative 10 is negative 5. And then plus, and that then becomes y minus 2. Again, half of negative 4 is negative 2, and that's squared. And that's equal to 7 plus 25 plus 4. Well, 25 plus 4 is 29, and 29 plus 7 is 36. And so our last step is to put it in the form of a circle, because we're already seeing this and thinking, oh yeah, this is definitely a circle. And we add this to our y. And we know that 36 is the same as 6 squared. So what we have here is a circle with coordinates 5, 2, and the radius is 6. So if you're asked to draw it, you would put your compass in x equals 5, y equals 2 as your centre of your circle, open your compass out to a width of 6 units, and then you would draw your circle. Of course, if your examiner's in a particularly foul mood and really wants to separate the very best from the rest, then you might get something as nightmarish as this. And your two alternatives to run out of the exam screaming and tearing your head out, bash your head against a wall, or you could try expanding out the brackets. So y times y is y squared plus 8y plus an x times x is x squared. And you're already thinking, oh, we've got a y squared term, we've got an x squared term, this is going to be a circle, isn't it? So this is x times 12, so this is plus 12x. And that's equal to 69. Okay, so now we can leave some spaces and complete the square. So I'll actually take the x terms first. So we've got x squared plus 12x. I'm going to leave a space, and then I'm going to add y squared plus 8y. And I'm going to leave a space, and that's equal to 69. And now I can start thinking about these. Well, half of 12 is 6, and 6 squared is 36, so I add 36. And now I take the 8 and I halve the 8, and that makes 4, and I square the 4, and that makes 16. And of course I've got to add 36 and 16. Okay, so now I can complete the square. So this is x plus 6 squared plus, and this is y plus 4 squared. So that's now factorised, and that's equal to, oh gosh, 69 plus 36 is 108. So plus 10 would be 118, plus 6 is 122. Have I done that right? Because that's not a square. Just double check. 69 plus 36, or 6 plus 9 is 6 plus 3 is 9, so that's 90. 9 plus 6 is 15, so that's 105. So 105 plus 16 is 121. So that's 121. I don't know why my maths failed me there. You could either just use a calculator if it's a calculator paper, and if it's not a calculator paper, you can just use the pads and you can just write it out. So you do 69 plus 36, rather than risk making mistakes like I did, trying to hold too much in your head at the same time. 6 plus 9 is 15, carry the 1. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 1, that's 105. Then you can do 105 plus 16. 6 plus 5 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. And bring down that 1. And you've got your 121. And I'm very happy about that because I know that 121 is 11 squared. So in fact, I'm going to rub out that 121, save having to write it all again. And that's 11 squared. So that was a bit of a nightmare in its own right. But this is where we find out how thoroughly evil the mind of the question setter is. Because we need it in the form of x minus a, not x plus a. And the person who set the question is trying to trick you and hoping that you got caught out. So this is actually in the form of x minus negative 6 squared, because if you're subtracting a negative, that's a positive, plus y minus negative 4 is equal to 11 squared. So we've actually got a circle with the centre at coordinates negative 6, negative 4, and the radius is 11. If I can make that look like an 11. Okay, well I hope that was helpful. I'd like to wish you all the best with your revision and all the best with your exams. If you did find it helpful, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in another video.